Well, it's a smaller group than the previous time we've met. So it's interesting to sort of focus on the future of technology, but not just about technology and the fact sheets and the changes which are happening, but also how does it change what we expect from the world around us? Eh? Do we want this interactivity, or do we want this notion of disconnectivity, of super focus? And also what I think is interesting is that suddenly small startup companies, like me in a way, are teaming up with the big boys, because the big boys are sort of losing their grip on reality. And this sort of connectivity between small and larger entrepreneurs speeds up the process of innovation. That did not happen that did not happen 4 or 5 years ago. So that makes it very exciting. So we'll give them a sort of safari tour in 20 minutes. Very visual, a lot of short movies and photos. And zooming in on projects like Smart Highway and the Smog-Free Park that we're building right now. Yeah. But I think, you know, it's your non-typical type of innovation, because it's not looking for optimizing an existing system, making it 10% less worse, but more looking to the second or the third horizon of thinking, how can we make energy neutral cities? How can we create places where people feel connected again, and using technology to enable that? So let's see if they get it. Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes today here in Munich, but I think in general a day in 2014 extremely interesting, because it's very clear that this old system is crashing in terms of economy, in terms of energy, and at the same time, sort of this new world. It's a bit unknown, yes? We are uncertain about it. We're also a bit scared about it. There was this huge article in the Dutch newspaper about robots taking over people's jobs and more unemployment. So there's sort of this, people are scared of it as well. And at the same time, yeah, okay, so what now? So in a weird way, we're sort of prototyping this new world. And that's when you see the larger companies like DSM or Heijmans or AXO or KPN or Philips with a lot of money and absolutely a limited amount of ideas about this new world, sort of teaming up with us to figure out together what is meaningful to do. And that makes it very exciting, that we need each other to learn and to make it happen. Because I have zillions ideas about roads of the future, but I have no idea how to build a highway. To be honest, I don't want to know how to build a highway. I want to work with a big corporation who knows it very well and is interested in taking the craftsmanship that they have, but connected with a new vision. And that creates new market, that creates a new, yeah, sort of proudness. I think that's also important. And I think that's popping up today. Yeah, I think that makes it very interesting. Yeah. I think 5 years ago, if they would have liked me, they would have just purchased an artwork made by me and put it in their lobby with a sign, "Please do not touch." And you know, it would have been very passive. Now there's more a sort of desire to work with my team of designers and technicians and their own team to work together to really, yeah, find solutions which are meaningful. No, that's the weird thing about these words. I was thinking about that yesterday, actually, that every year has a new word. So it started with sustainability, and then it started with innovation, and this year it's the word of disruption. And the weird thing with these words is that the more you repeat them, the less they start to make sense or lose their meaning in a weird way. I really believe that. So no, the goal is not disruption. The goal is to realize that how we have been treating planet Earth is not working anymore, or how we've been treating ourselves is not working anymore. And so maybe the systems are not there anymore, so we need to maybe work from a bottom-up approach and invest in new dreams, new ideas to survive. And so it's not about breaking the old, it's about investing in the new. And yes, some companies will die, but okay, this is part of the ecology we are in. I'm sure they understand as well. Yeah. I hope so. Or not. Sorry, but no sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't have much choice often.
Yeah. But to be honest, come on, if we are serious, how much real disruption are we encountering in a time like this? Not so much. I mean, I see some apps popping up on my mobile phone which sucks battery life every day. I mean, is there real disruption going on? Of course not. Because we're still believing it will be better next year or something like that. We're still, you know, the first digital camera, the first one that you purchased, it still had the sound when you would take a photo of the analog photo camera, had a click sound. So people still had the feeling they would take a real photo. We are in that phase right now. So we have the opportunities of the future, of the new world, but we are still stuck in the sentiment of the old world. And that limits us. So disruption, I want to see it. I'm not seeing it yet, to be honest. So.
Are you expecting it?
Yes, but the question is where it will pop up. So either people will become more conservative, potentially Netherlands will become one big open air museum, or Europe will become one big open air museum. So all the culture, all the knowledge, all the innovation we have will be just decoration for the Chinese and the Indians to watch, which is an option. I'm not saying it's wrong, but so if we do not invest in new ideas and new dreams, so yeah, for sure it will be there. But the question is who will feed that movement? And I think Netherlands is good in that way because we have a notion of creativity. We live on the sea level, so our whole landscape is already man-made. Without technology, we would literally drown. So we're very used to work with nature. It's a part of our culture, the landscape you and I inhabit. But it's still hidden in a fact sheet layer. It's still hidden below the surface. So if we start to realize that this is our power and this is our proudness in a way, we drag it more into an experience. Like smart highway, roads which charge at daytime, glow at night. It's energy neutral, but it's also just something you would like to take your girlfriend with, you know, like you say, oh, look at that. So it's going to happen, but very slowly. I'm surprised, yeah. We'll see. Design is not just about chairs, lamps and tables. That's maybe the cliche people have when they hear that word. For me, design is about improving life, you know, making stuff that help you make sense of reality. Because life is complex, you know, we get a zillion amount of information. Our body changes, our surrounding changes. So we need sort of like a toolkit, tools to personalize, to customize the world around us. And when you were a boy, you did it. You went outside and you built tree huts. You had your nails and your hammer. Well, while we grow up, our tools become more matured. But does our meaning come as well? I think that's sort of design that questions that. What do we want from the world? What does the world want from us? And by making things, you make new relationship with yourself, with the world around you, with each other. That is sort of the essence of design for me. The definition of good design is that you feel you can engage with it. So it triggers your creativity. So life is not static. Life is not this sum of walls, doors and windows decided by some government I cannot see. But you are able to create your own reality. And this is part of a bigger movement, of the makers movement, which is popping up, where people are tired of being a consumer and want to be a co-producer in a way. And this starts very naive, with some nerds in a basement with a 3D printer. But slowly but surely, this notion of shareability, this notion of being able to personalize the things that you have around you, instead of buying it zillions the same, is something which in my generation, my digital native generation, I'm 34, 45 now, is very, very powerful. And so the design is not about objects, it's about triggering creativity. And I don't care if you're a CIO or a nurse or an artist or a minister. And that's sustainability, if you want to use another word. The true essence of sustainability, not just a fact sheet and not just doing less or recycled cardboard and blah, 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 blah. It's about realizing, like Marshall McLuhan once said, at spacecraft Earth, there are no passengers. We are all crew. The notion of connectivity in the purest sense of the word. And design can help with that, but in a way we need we need all people to engage. Yeah. It's weird because when Dutch Design Award called me 5 years ago and said, "You've won the Dutch Design Award in the Netherlands," I was like, "But I'm not a designer. I don't feel like a designer." And they got really mad. So I never felt comfortable with that word because it relates to the cliche of chairs, lamps, and tables. And if you would take a peek into my house, you would see the opposite of that. I make stuff. So I have dreams, I have ideas, and then I realize them. And so it's the hippie with a business plan approach. You have new dreams, new ideas, and at the same time there's a desire to make it happen. And either you do that alone in my own studio with a great team of scientists and designers, where we have studios in the Netherlands and in Shanghai, or we do a team up with a road manufacturer like Heijmans, or with a DSM, or with a Wageningen University, where we're working now on light-emitting trees, taking the luciferine of fireflies and merging it with plants to make energy-neutral lighting. Incredibly powerful, incredibly beautiful. So, you know, when you start, when you play tennis alone, you have this sort of this gun which pops the tennis balls at you. And well, that's me. So I'm sort of this idea machine. I'm just throwing proposals in the world. Future of mobility, future of health, future of energy, future of information. And then see what sticks. And then we team up in order to make it happen, that it has the impact. So I'm in a happy state to have this sort of dream factory. And I'm enjoying that, yeah. Well, I mean, it's sort of a taste in your mouth, like, but you don't know the ingredients yet. So you have a sense of where you're going, but it's there to be explored. You don't know return of investment, like 100% clear when you start. You have an intuition, but I think every really successful entrepreneur I have met, like the real successful one, I mean, call Elon or the Richard Branson or Peter Diamandis, they are very strong, intuitive leaders, and I learned to appreciate that. And also Peter Diamandis was telling me, "Daan, great stuff, but you have to make more mistakes. You have to double your failure rate. Make more mistakes." And I mean, in the Netherlands, people would be like scared of that completely. So no, you don't know 100% what you're starting. You know that there's a potential. You know that you have a personal obsession. You know that you have a sort of team of experts in order to realize it. So you look around at the world, you get annoyed, you get inspired, and then you come up with new ideas about it. And to be honest, in my personal opinion, the more radical the idea is that I have, for example, that we're building now the cleanest park in Beijing, smog-free, 75% more clean than the rest of the city. If it's about high tech and about social relevance, capital will follow. That's the least of our problems. So that makes today a very exciting time, because people are sort of eager for the new, because they are tired of the old. And I think it's up to every entrepreneur or designer or technology person to be curious and explore that future. So we should be more curious for the future, I think. That's the real essence. Yeah. Don't worry so much. And all these Excel sheets, I never got that. Yeah. I mean, I have them as well, and we have 2 great business developers, which I'm fighting with on a weekly basis. And that's good, you know, we should struggle. It's not about money. It's not about return of investment in the beginning. It's about a sort of sense of curiosity, that they realize that the old logic they had has changed. And so stop calling innovation making an existing system 10% less worse. That's not innovation. It's not. And really be curious to the future and start investing in those new dreams. And yes, in the first 3 years, it will be 1% of your hard capital, but it will be 99% of your soft capital, the way people perceive you, the type of people who will start to want to work with you, the type of knowledge you attract. If I look at the amount of emails we get as a small firm, 10, 15 people we are, the amount of emails we get every day from scientists, from crazy students with new ideas all around the world. So there's so much knowledge coming on our way. We don't have to Google, we just open our inbox. Because you make a statement, you make it visual, and then people want to be a part of that. That sort of creates sort of flow where you can shift or can focus on what is relevant or not. And it's very simple, like either they are open to that, or somebody else will come and do it for them. So yes, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Yeah, this is. So my strategy personally is more to be a happy infiltrator, to work with them in order to push it. Like we're doing with the road manufacturer Heijmans, where we made a deal for the coming 5 years, where they're investing a couple of million per year in 20 ideas, which we're dragging from proto to product, like paints which charge at daytime, glow at night to make energy neutral lighting, or roads which charge electrical cars when they drive over them, or so many ideas. And what you also see is that suddenly car industry and road industry are suddenly communicating with each other. Because Tesla calls and says, hey, we're putting 425 kilo of batteries in our Tesla S. You have roads which charge electrical cars, maybe we should work together. And that was so weird. We organized that meeting and they've never met. They never talked. And I'm like, your products are literally hitting each other every day. Literally, and these worlds are disconnected. I think that's insane. So we have in the afternoon we have the meeting with the BMW people here in Munich, and they were very curious. So you start to connect different sectors because you think in a different, more radical way, and that's where the new energy and the new hard and soft capital pops up. I think the notion of the curiosity, the hard and the soft capital, and that's I think important. Yeah, social relevance, and that it's not just about fact sheets and hardcore microchips, but also about an emotional value. What do we expect from the world around you? 10, 15 years ago, that's the famous movie I showed before. A movie director, Frans Bromet, interviewed people on the street, 1999. Do you want a mobile phone? And people are almost shocked, are almost insulted. Like, are you crazy? I cannot cycle and call at the same time. I have an answer machine. They can write a letter. I don't want that. 10, 15 years ago. And look at it now. It's the thing I fall asleep with. It's my body.